Good morning, pilgrims. It is day 38 on the Shikoku Henro, and today we reached the last temple, Temple 88. As opposed to all the different caminos that I do in Spain, where the end of the line is the cathedral in Santiago de Compostela, or on the Via Francigena, the Camino di Francesco, when you reach the Vatican in Rome. On this pilgrimage, there's no end. It's a loop. You can go around and around as many times as you like, even though most people start in Temple 1 and go back to it. There's no set rule. So today is the last day, and then tomorrow is gonna be a trip down memory lane going from Temple 10 all the way to Temple 1. What a crazy day yesterday with the reservations. I was supposed to stay at another place. It was a nightmare scenario. And as it turns out, Andrea was staying at the place where I was supposed to stay, and they were waiting for me there. I'm sorry that it happened, but that's how it goes out here when the reservation process is the way it is. So yeah, it is raining. We have a huge climb over slippery rocks and the forest, and it had to end this way. Of course it had to. We have a 15-kilometer day, and we're making our way to the museum where we're supposed to get our certificate of completion. Oh my God. Oh. It had to be this way, of course. Oh man, after walking the first 5 kilometers, we made it to a split on the road, and I knew from a fact that I had to make the right turn and go to the Henro Museum where we got our credential. Yes, our pilgrim credential for completing the pilgrimage. They didn't ask us anything. They didn't ask us to show them our books, and we just fill out the paperwork and got the credential, and then we got to explore the museum where they have a model of Shikoku with all the temples, and you can just walk around it like kind of like what you did on the pilgrimage, and you can press a button and a light shows up and it shows you where the temple is on the map. After that, it kind of stopped raining, just a little drizzle. We followed the backcountry roads. The road gave way to a path right next to the stream, and then the steps arrived, and it was quite the climb all the way to the top, to the horror section where we had to kind of like crawl over rocks there for a little bit. Not a little bit, it was quite a lot. And then from the top, we could see a little bit of the views down below, even though it's completely fogged up. And there was a rest area where we stopped for just a little break before the 1,000 meter or the 1 kilometer descent that felt like an eternity. All the way down here to Temple 88, the last one on the pilgrimage.
Yes.
I met her for the first time on the climb to Temple 11, and then we walked a little bit until we got to Koshi Prefecture, and just before reaching the city, I moved on, took a rest day. I didn't get to see her again for a while until I ran into her at Temple, what was it, like 44, 45?
Yeah, 44, 45.
Exactly, and then, we managed to make it all the way to the end. Did not get to walk here with the other Henros that I met along the way, like the French couple, the Americans. There's so many of them that we saw every now and then. But we're here. Let's go ahead and explore the last temple. Let's get the final calligraphy stamp. Let's do it. At the foot of Mount Jahatsu, where the journey around Shikoku finds its end, stands the final temple of the pilgrimage, Okuboji, the Big Hallowed Temple, a place of closure, reflection, and quiet reverence. The story of this temple begins in the early 1700s, when the monk Gayoki, drawn by a vision, built a hermitage here. A century later, Kukai returned from China and sought solitude in a cave on this mountain. He chanted the mantra of Kokuso a million times, carved a life-size statue of Yakushi Nayora, and established a temple that would become the last step on this sacred path. It is said that Kukai carried with him a staff given by his Chinese teacher Huiguo, a staff passed from India to China and now to Japan. When he struck it into the ground, it left a hollow, marking this place as sacred. Through the centuries, the temple flourished. Unlike Koya-san, which was once closed to women, Okuboji welcomed them. It became known as Woman's Koya-san, a rare place of pilgrimage where all could seek blessings. At its height, over 100 buildings stood here, but hardship came as well. In 1574, war engulfed the land, and the temple was burned by retreating soldiers. It was rebuilt, only to be ravaged by fire once more in 1883. Yet devotion endured and the temple rose again. Pilgrims who complete the 88 temple circuit leave their walking sticks here, leaving them to rest in the Hojodo Hall. In spring and summer, these staffs are burned in a sacred fire ritual, a final offering of gratitude and farewell to the long road walked.
One room ね。オッケーオッケー。ちょっと待ってね。
You always know that the day will come, and when it finally arrives, you're like, how did I get here? And that pretty much sums up the entire trip in one phrase. When I got to the temple, I went through the temple ritual. I lit up a candle and then an incense stick. I got my last calligraphy stamp on both the book and the scroll. The temple was full of people. They did not seem like Henros. They seemed more like people on a field trip, like school kids. And it was time to stand in front of the gates and do the picture with the scroll and the book, the celebratory moment. And after that, we headed down to the 3 restaurants that were there to choose from, and we enjoyed lunch. It started raining, and it hasn't stopped raining all afternoon. Made it to the Minshuku, where I'm staying today, in this Japanese-style room that you guys know so well already. I have my 3-layer pancake of futons for my bed. Took the shower, of course, and I just been laying here. It's been a cold, cold afternoon. The rain always brings the temperature down. My shoes were soaking wet. I had to put newspapers in them just to get them dry. And that's it, man. That is the last day on the Shikoku Henro. I cannot believe that I'm here. It's just so surreal moment. But I still have 2 more days to walk back to Temple 1 to complete the circle, to complete the loop. I'm gonna get 10 more stamps on my white vest. And also I'm gonna mount or frame my scroll. It's gonna take about a month for the guy to do it, and then he's gonna ship it back home. So I will be probably combining those 2 days into one video. I'm gonna go over the entire cost breakdown. Everything that I spent on this trip, I will talk about it. I will talk about what I learned, the things that I wish I would have done different. And it's gonna be a great day, man. It's gonna be a great video. Can I close this one before thanking the troll angel of the day? And it's gonna be Mili Koki. Thank you so much, Mili, for the troll magic, for the osetai. And I'll see you guys on the next video.